On June 28, 1914, Archduke Francis Ferdinand was assassinated. This then led to a chain reaction, having Austria and Hungary wanting to start a war. Germany then backs up Austria. Russia backs up Serbia. On July 28, 1914, only a month later, Germany declares war. Many inventions and new weapons were introduced throughout the war. Artillery is one of them. Artillery, among other machines, were introduced into the battlefield. The field of artillery in 1914 consisted primarily of cannons, flat trajectories with calibers of 7.5 to 8.5 centimeters.
These weapons were very difficult to transport. Soldiers had to undergo long marches through rough terrain. Added to this, the artillery was very heavy and was often pulled by horses. The range was often short. Large distances required very powerful charges and heavy gun barrels and mounts.
In 1897, France came out with a revolutionary invention, a field gun with a long barrel recoil. Most guns at the time had a barrel that was firmly connected to the mount, which jerked back and forth when fired, had to be reloaded afterward and put back into its original position. This new invention had the barrel being in a cradle. Once the gun was fired, the barrel would slide back into the cradle, making it so it didn't rock back and forth. Added on to this new trick, there was a brake so the gun would not roll back and you would not have to put it back in place. The rate of fire also increased.
The Germans introduced the foot artillery. This new design was much more complex and covered a field of weapons. It was primarily used for siege warfare and the defense and attack strategies. This new gun was lighter and easier to transport around the battlefields.
Once the war started, there were primarily two types of artillery: light field artillery and heavy field artillery. Light field artillery weapons were to support the infantry units in the campaign with defensive and offensive operations. The offensive battle was often where a gun is required to have good mobility. The defensive battle is where firepower is much more important. Heavy field artillery weapons had bigger calibers and were much heavier, yet had mobility. They often had to be disassembled into several loads or have the barrel rest lower on the position on the carriage. Trench artillery was often also used to blow up the walls of enemy trenches, killing the semi-protected soldiers. There is also super heavy artillery involved and long-distance artillery. World War I left the world with new innovative weapons and technology, but also left the battlefields 100 times more bloody than ever before, killing more soldiers than ever recorded in history. About 40 million died in World War I, compared to any other war. Though the artillery may have helped the Allies win World War I, it also left the world completely changed forever. Battle would never be the same. They went there on horses and left in airplanes. That's how fast technology changed, for the better or the worse.